Hello, today we're going to talk about the long vowel silent E pattern, or the O consonant E pattern, which says the long O sound like in nose. In this pattern, you have an O followed by a consonant and that silent E. The E doesn't make any sound, but it does make the O make the long vowel sound. As we work through today's activities, it may be helpful for you to have a piece of paper and a pencil so that you can do the activities with me. Throughout the video, there will be several places where you can choose to pause and come back at a later time or on a completely different day. Or, if you'd rather do the whole video in one sitting, that's fine too. Let's get started. The first thing I want us to do is to think about the sounds in words. If a word has a long O sound, like in nose, give me a thumbs up. If the word says the short O sound, ah, like in not, give me a thumbs down. So if I have the word hope, O, that says O like nose, so I give a thumbs up. What about the word hop? Hop says ah like not, that's a thumbs down. What about rob? Rob says ah like not, that's a thumbs down. What about robe? Robe says O like nose, thumbs up. What about stone? Stone says O like nose, thumbs up. What about smoke? Smoke says O like nose. What about cop? Cop says ah like not, thumbs down. What about cope? Cope says O like nose, thumbs up. It's really important for us to listen to the sounds in these words. For all of our words that had a thumbs up, there was a long O somewhere in that word, and it was followed by a consonant sound. That's the pattern that we're working on today. And like I said, that long O is spelled by a silent E. The E doesn't make any sound, which is why it goes in the sound box with the consonant. It doesn't actually make its own sound. It does do a very important job, though. That E is making the O have that long vowel sound, which is why I connect the two of them so you can see how they're working together. Let me show you how you can use the sounds in words to help you to be able to spell them. Let's take the word hope. When I stretch the sounds, I hear O, three sounds, so we'll use three boxes. When I think about the vowel sound, O, it's a long O sound, and it's followed by a consonant P. So that follows our pattern of a long O followed by a consonant. And so we're going to use this vowel consonant E spelling, or O consonant E. Let me show you how that looks. Is spelled with an H. O is spelled with an O. P is spelled with a P. But the word isn't done. We add that silent E so that E can work on that O and make the long O sound. Hope is spelled H-O-P-E, and it follows that vowel consonant E pattern, or that long vowel silent E pattern, because the O has a long vowel sound. Let me show you another word that does not follow our pattern. The word is hop. I stretch the sounds, ah, p. Still three sounds, but this time my vowel said ah, not the long O. That's why I have it colored in pink, because it does not follow our pattern. When I spell that word, is spelled with an H, ah is spelled with an O, p is spelled with a P. Notice the key difference here is that because it has the short vowel sound, the word is just done. It's a closed syllable, one vowel followed by one or more consonant. It does not get the silent E because it does not have the long vowel sound. Why don't you try one with me? The word is note. What is the word? Note. Stretch the sounds with me. N, O, T, note. There's three sounds in that word. The first sound was N. How do you spell it? N. The second sound is O. It's the long O sound. Is it followed by a consonant? Yep, it's followed by the T. So we know when we spell that long O sound that we're going to have the silent E. And I'm going to go ahead and put that here so I don't forget that. N, O, T. How do you spell the T sound? Yep, it's a T. And then we keep that silent E in that box so that it can work on that O and make that long vowel sound. Note is spelled N-O-T-E. It follows our pattern because it has the long O sound followed by a consonant and the silent E. Nice job. Let's do another one together. The word is slope. What's the word? Slope. Stretch the sounds with me. S, l, o, p. 4 sounds, we'll use all the boxes. First sound, s, spelled s. Second sound, l, spelled l. Next sound, o. This is our long O sound. So how do we make sure that it's spelled with the long O sound? We can't forget that silent E at the end. Last sound, p, spelled with a P. We keep that silent E in that box so that it can make the O follow our pattern of the long vowel silent E or O consonant E. Slope, S, L, O, P, is spelled S-L-O-P-E. Okay, are you ready to try some on your own? This would be a great time to use that pencil and paper so you can write down your words as you stretch those sounds. The first word is spoke. Go ahead and stretch those sounds, listen for the vowel sound, and spell the pattern. Spoke. Does it have the long O sound? Is there a consonant that follows it? Spoke. Okay, let's check how you did. Spoke has the sounds S, P, O, K. We're going to use all 4 boxes. S is spelled with an S, P is spelled with a P. O is the long vowel sound, so we're going to make sure that we remember to put that silent E in there to help us out because it's followed by the consonant sound K, K. S, P, O, K. We use the vowel consonant E pattern to help us to have that long vowel sound. Nice job. Let's try another one. The word is tote. Stretch it and write it. Tote. Let's see how you did. Tote has 3 sounds, T, O, T, and it has the long O sound followed by a consonant, so it follows our rule. T is spelled with a T, O is spelled with a long O and that silent E. T is spelled with a T. Tote is spelled T-O-T-E. It follows our vowel consonant E pattern because there's the long O sound followed by a consonant sound, and so we have that silent E to make that long O. Okay, last one. The word is joke. Listen carefully to the patterns and spell it as you hear it. Joke. Double check what you have written down. Do each of the sounds that you hear get represented correctly with the patterns on the page? Joke has 3 sounds, J, O, K. It has the long O sound followed by a consonant, so it follows our vowel consonant E pattern. J is spelled with a J, O is spelled with an O, K is spelled with a K. It has the silent E so that that long O sound can be in the word. If you forgot the E, it would be J, A, K, and that is not the word that we want. Now you can use your spelling patterns to also help you to read words, not just to write words. So when I look at these words, I want to right away look to see if there's any letters that are working together to make a single sound. Right away, I notice that this word follows our pattern. There's an O followed by a consonant and then an E. That means that this E is going to work on this letter O and make the long O sound. When I put my sound boxes around the word, I'm going to put that V and the E together into a single box. The E doesn't make its own sound, but it does work to influence the O, which is why I have that little caret holding the 2 together. Now we can go through and look at all the other consonants to figure out what sounds they make. The D makes its own sound, as the R also makes its own sound. Each of those are consonants that do blend together, but they're not a digraph, so each one still makes its own sound. The O makes its own sound, the long O sound in this case, because of how it has that silent E. This word has 4 sounds in it because it has those 4 boxes. Those sounds, based on how I see the patterns, would be D, O, V, drove. So you can see how looking to see how those letters are working together can help you to read your words. Let's do this next one together. Do you notice any letters that are working together to make a single sound? So this one may be a little confusing. It's a little different than some of the other ones. There is an O consonant E, but it's not the very last thing. Notice how all our other words, they end with that E. This one ends with an S. I wanted to show you an example of this. This does indeed follow our pattern. There's something called a root word, a main word that's a part of this, and then I've added a suffix. A suffix is a thing like S, ed, or ing. I can kind of ignore that for right now and just focus on this root word. When I just look at the main part of the word, I see that I have an O consonant E. That's our pattern, which we know will make the long O sound. We also know that that means the E is not going to make its own sound. It's a silent letter that helps to make the O have the long vowel sound. At the beginning of the word, we have that consonant N. That makes its own sound as well. So the root word has three sounds: N, O, T, note. This S is playing a special role. It's a suffix that means plural, more than one. What this is saying is that I don't just have one note. I have multiple notes, maybe 5 notes, or 7 notes, or 10 notes. Because it's a suffix, it's only changing the meaning of the word, the number of the word. It's not really changing the root word, which is why we still could use our vowel consonant E pattern, even though it wasn't the very end. That's a lot for us to think about. Mostly what I want you to notice, though, is that sometimes if a word has an S, an ED, or an ING at the end, you can ignore that in the beginning so that you can figure out what that root word says and use your pattern, and then come back and read the whole word. So altogether, this word is N, O, T, S, notes. Nice job. This next one's not near as tricky. Do you see any letters that are working together? Yep, it's pretty clear that this one has that vowel consonant E pattern with the O, consonant V, and then the silent E. So how does that impact the sound? If you said that V and E go together in a single box because that E is silent, you are correct. What about all the other letters in this word? Each one is going to make its own sound. The O is going to be a long O sound because of that silent E. The T is going to make its own sound, and the S is going to make its own sound. This word has 4 sounds: S, T, O, V, stove. Nice job. Okay, these next 3 I want you to do on your own. This is another great time to use your pencil and paper. Go ahead and copy down the words and look to see, are there any letters that are working together to make a single sound? Use that knowledge to help you to draw your sound boxes. Figure out how many sounds are in each word and then blend them together. You may want to pause the video now so you have time to copy down your words, and when you're ready to check your work, go ahead and hit play. See you soon! Welcome back. Are you ready to check your work? The first thing you want to do is to check to see, are there any letters that are working together to make a single sound. Right away, I noticed that it has the O consonant E pattern. That means this E is working with the O to make the long O sound. It also helps me to know that that E is not making its own sound. And so to hide it, I'm going to put it in that sound box with the consonant P. Now I look at my other letters and I realize that my O is making its own sound, the long O sound. The L is making its own sound, and the S is making its own sound. Altogether, there's 4 sounds in this word: S, L, O, P, slope. Moving on to the next word, you probably saw the vowel consonant E pattern there as well, with the long O sound. Since that E doesn't make its own sound, it goes in the sound box with the S. The O gets its own sound, and the R gets its own sound. This word only has 3 sounds in it. Those 3 sounds are R, O, S, rose. Good job. In the last one, we also had our long vowel silent E pattern, the O consonant E. That E does not make its own sound, so it gets tucked away into the sound box with the consonant L. But the O does have its own sound, the long O sound, because of that pattern, and the M has its own sound. This word also has 3 sounds, and those sounds are M, O, ol, mole. Nice job using the pattern to both write words and read words. This would be a great time that if you want to take a break, you can go ahead and pause the video. You can either come back at a later time or on a completely different day. If you'd rather keep on working, let's go ahead on to the next activity. So for this activity, what we're going to do is use our pattern knowledge to help us to read words more quickly and write words more quickly without the use of those sound boxes. When you're reading words, you won't have those boxes to help you to see how the letters are working together. You're going to have to get your eyes used to looking for the pattern. So as I skim through my list of words, I can see that this follows my pattern and this follows my pattern. They both have a vowel O, followed by a consonant, and then an E at the end, a silent E. This word does not follow my consonant. There is a vowel O, and it is followed by a consonant, but there is no silent E. This is a closed syllable word and will be read with that short O sound, versus this is the vowel consonant E pattern with the long O sound. Look through the rest of these words and look to see where we have the O consonant E, the O consonant E, the O consonant E. That'll help you in reading. I want you to go ahead and take a minute just to practice these words. You may need to pause the video so you have time to practice each word. When you're ready to read them with me, go ahead and hit play. Go ahead and practice and pause now. Welcome back. Are you ready to read the words with me? Pay careful attention to the spelling to see if it has the vowel consonant E pattern that says O, O, not O, not O, 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 O. Okay, let's read it together. Ready? Begin. Slope, grove, slop, jock, joke, nose, smoke, hope. Good job. Notice slop and jock are read with the short O sound because they have that closed syllable, an O followed by one or more consonants. Let's read one more time just for practice. Ready? Begin. Slope, grove, slop, jock, joke, nose, smoke, hope. Nice reading. Let's also practice our writing of words. Grab your paper if you have it sitting next to you. I'm going to say the word, and I want you to stretch the sounds and then write it based on the patterns that you hear. Listen carefully for if a word has a long O sound followed by a consonant. If it does, use our vowel consonant E pattern. If it does not have that long O sound, then it may be a closed syllable and be written without that E. Ready? The first word is spoke. Spoke. Do you hear the long O sound followed by a consonant? Let's check how to spell that word. Spoke has the sounds S, P, O, K. The long O followed by the consonant K. It follows our vowel consonant E pattern. To write the word, you would have S, P, P, O, O, K, K, E. That E is silent, but it makes the O have the long vowel sound. How'd you do? Let's do another one. The word is stone. Stone. Look carefully at your word the way you've written it. Does it represent the sounds in the word? Let's check our writing. Stone has four sounds. S, T, O, N. It follows our pattern because it has the long O sound followed by the consonant N. So we're going to use the vowel consonant E spelling. Stone is written S, T, T, O, O, N, N, E. It has the long O sound followed by a consonant, and so it has that silent E. Nice writing. Let's go ahead and do the word hole, like a hole in the ground. Hole. Does hole have a long vowel O followed by a consonant sound? Let's check how to spell this word. Hole only has three sounds. H, O, long O, oo, followed by a consonant, and so we have that silent E. Whole follows our rule because there's a long O sound followed by a consonant, and so we spell it using the vowel consonant E pattern. Good job. Now this next one might be tricky. Listen very carefully. The word is spot. Spot. Does spot have the long O sound like nose? Spot. I hope you noticed as you stretch the sounds that spot does not say the long O sound. The sounds in spot are s, p, ah, t. It is the short vowel sound followed by the consonant, which means it's a closed syllable. It does not have the silent E on it. Spot is spelled S, P, ah, short O sound, t, T. There is no E on this word because it does not have the long vowel sound. Did I trick you or did you get it right? Nice job. The last word we're going to do is tote. Stretch the sounds and listen carefully. Does it have a long O sound followed by a consonant? Tote. Check your spelling. Does the word that you have written down represent all of the sounds that you want? Let's check how to write that word. Tote has 3 sounds, t, o, t. It follows our pattern because there's a long O sound followed by a consonant, so we're going to use the vowel consonant E pattern. Tote is spelled t, t, o, long O, t, t, e. It has the long O sound followed by a consonant, so we use that vowel consonant E pattern where that E doesn't make a sound, but it does make the O have the long sound. Nice job practicing. You've been using a lot of brain energy. If you want to take a break, now is another great time to go ahead and take a break. You could come back at another time or on a completely different day. If you want to keep working with me, the next thing we're going to do is read a story. I'm glad you're here to read the story with me. Today, the story that we're going to read is called Rose's Birthday. This apostrophe lets me know that Rose owns the birthday. It's her birthday. So we're going to talk about Rose's birthday. Notice this is another time when we can kind of ignore that ending part and use our vowel consonant E pattern to help us to read the main word. Now, as I'm reading, the first thing I kind of do is skim and scan to look to see if there's any words with my pattern. Here I notice a vowel consonant E. Here's another vowel consonant E and another vowel consonant E. Ooh, here's one of those tricky ones where it has the ed ending, so I can kind of ignore that for right now. And I notice that in the root word, I have an O consonant E, so that's going to have the long O sound. O consonant E, O consonant E, O consonant E. Looks like that's all of them. On each of those words, it's going to have the long O sound. Read in your head with me while I read aloud. Rose the mole woke up. She poked her nose out of a hole. It is my birthday, she said. I hope I have a swell day. Go ahead and read this page with me. Ready? Begin. Rose the mole woke up. She poked her nose out of a hole. It is my birthday, she said. I hope I have a swell day. Good reading. Let's read this next page together. Quickly look to see, are there any words that have our long vowel silent E pattern? I do want to talk about this one. It looks like it has our long vowel silent E pattern, but this is one of those irregular words where instead of saying k, o, m, this is the word come. You probably also noticed some of the other patterns we've already studied, like the long A silent E pattern. Okay, we've looked at our words. You ready to read with me? Ready? Begin. Rose spotted a note from Jake and Jane Snake. The note said, "We want you to come to our home. Take your skates with you." Well, that's nice. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Oops, sorry, I read too fast. Rose put her skates in a tote. Then she went to the bus stop. She skipped over stones. She went past a hole. Now I'm going to have you finish reading the story on your own. You may need to pause on each page so you have enough time to read all the words. When you're done reading that page, just click play again and it'll go on to the next page. Look carefully as you read each word to look for that vowel consonant E pattern. That'll help you to know if the vowel is going to make that long vowel sound. Go ahead and start reading and pause the video if you need more time on each page.